Every Valentine's Day, Peter Parker records a message for Gwen Stacy. She has been dead for 30 years. He does it anyway. This is Spider-Man, Blue. A 6-issue limited series published in 2002 and 2003, written by Jeph Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale. It is not an action story. It is a love story. Specifically, it is about the love that ended before Peter Parker understood what he had. The series is structured as a recording. Peter sits alone and speaks into a tape recorder, telling the story of how he fell in love with Gwen Stacy. He begins at a party. She was there, and he was awkward, and Harry Osborn was trying to impress her, and Flash Thompson was showing off, and Peter Parker stood in a corner feeling entirely out of place. He was a kid who had grown up too fast, who carried things no one else could see, surrounded by people who had never had to worry about what he worried about. Gwen Stacy was not like the other people at that party. She was smart. She was serious. She had a father she respected, Captain George Stacy, a decorated cop who genuinely cared about the city. She looked at Peter Parker and saw something that most people missed. She didn't know what it was yet. Neither did he. The series runs the two of them through a gauntlet of classic early villains: the Vulture, the Rhino, the Lizard, Mysterio, Kraven the Hunter, not because the fights matter to this story, but because Peter keeps having to leave. Every time something real is about to happen between them, every time a conversation gets honest or a moment gets close, he gets a tingle and has to manufacture some excuse to disappear. The series is partly a comedy about how difficult it is to fall in love when you are secretly responsible for an entire city. Mary Jane Watson is in the background. She is always in the background. Flirtatious, free-spirited, the kind of person who fills every room she walks into without trying. Peter notices her, he can't help it. But it is Gwen he chooses. The series is quietly honest about the fact that Peter was drawn to both of them, and that his love for Gwen was in some ways the more deliberate thing. He worked at it. He showed up even when it was hard. He chose her in the small moments, over and over. Tim Sale's artwork is doing something essential here. His version of 1960s New York is warm and golden, filtered through memory, the way places look when you are trying to hold on to them. Gwen Stacy glows in every panel. Peter Parker is drawn young and uncertain in a way that feels exactly right, the way you look when you're learning what love actually costs. The city itself is nostalgic, saturated, beautiful. It looks the way a city looks when you are in love for the first time. Loeb structures the flashback so that each issue is one piece of the romance, not a greatest hits but a real relationship, built slowly, interrupted constantly, developed through shared moments and misunderstandings and the particular vulnerability of two young people who are both carrying more than they can say. And then there is the last issue. Peter is still recording. He talks about the moment he knew. He talks about Gwen's laugh. He talks about every time he almost told her the truth about who he really was, and why he didn't, and whether that was love or cowardice or both. He talks about the things he should have said. He talks about what he lost. And then the issue ends with a reveal that reframes everything in retrospect. Mary Jane has been there the whole time. She has been listening to the entire recording. She knows, fully, in detail, how deeply Peter Parker loved Gwen Stacy. She knows that he has never stopped. She is here anyway. She doesn't ask him to get over it. She doesn't need him to pretend that what he had with Gwen was less than it was. The final panel. Peter says "I love you." The reader has to decide who he is talking to. Jeph Loeb has said that he wrote this series partly as a response to arguments that Spider-Man should never have been married, that Peter Parker is better off single. His answer was that the love story is not the problem. The love story is the whole point. It includes Gwen, who came first. It includes MJ, who understood everything and chose to stay. It includes Peter Parker, who learned that you can carry grief for someone you've lost and still love someone who was right in front of you. That those two things are not in conflict. Spider-Man, Blue came out 2 years before the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film made Gwen Stacy known to a mass audience. It was writing for people who already knew the ending, who already knew that the woman in these golden, warm, luminous flashback panels was going to die on a bridge one night while Peter watched. That is the specific cruelty of what Loeb and Sale built. You know how the story ends. You read it anyway because the love itself was real. This is what Spider-Man Blue was about. Not the fighting. Not the villains. Not even the grief, exactly. It is about the fact that Peter Parker had something extraordinary, and he knew it, and he lost it, and he never forgot it. And that someone who loved him decided that was enough. Spider-Man Blue. The best love story ever told in a Spider-Man comic.